me imagine that. Why is this getting to me? Wow. Damn it, Ben Kingsley. Why are you so good? Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka GeekXX Chic, and we're here with another reaction to Wonder Man. We're on season 1, episode 6, which is called Callback. In the last episode, we had the potential leak of Simon's powers. He ended up defending Trevor against some people that he owed some money to, and that ended up spinning into a much bigger deal as they chased down the footage and ended up kind of trying to solve a dispute between these two people who were fighting. It was a big deal. Either way, police were involved, and in the middle of all of that, we find out that Simon got a callback for the Von Novak film, which is, you know, what the big thing that he's trying to actually get as far as a role so far. In the meantime as well, we see that the contact from the DODC has been trying to get a hold of Trevor, but we know that Trevor has, at least from what we can see, decided not to be a double agent anymore, but he hasn't exactly cut ties or told Simon the truth of why he entered his life in the first place. So I have a feeling that's gonna blow up at some point, but that's kind of where we were. We ended the episode with my guys heading off to the audition because they now have to do it right away instead of in the next couple of days. So that's kind of how we ended the episode. So I'm ready to jump in and see where this one takes us. Just before I do, please do hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And remember, you can catch uncut versions of this reaction on my Patreon. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now.
All right, let me set the mood. You're at the bar, the music is pumping. Okay, now you want a shot. You approach the bartender.
That's you feeling the bait?
Sorry, I'm not my best.
Are you kidding? That was great.
Is this when he was still actively using, potentially?
That wasn't the real audition.
Oh, I see. You're making something a little more adult, are you?
No, it's not like that.
You sure?
I might need a minute.
No.
Have you seen this?
You don't have to memorize. You don't have to memorize. I just want to get a sense of you.
He's like, yo, was this when he had to, is this when they accidentally maybe tricked him into taking the role of the Mandarin?
Some people call me a terrorist.
Yep. Yikes.
Try one with these.
Right.
Just put on the whole costume, you know? Let's just fix the lighting. No. It's just a tape.
Some people call me a terrorist.
Oh, even the way of talking changed. Okay. Homie said I'm method. Don't play with me.
We only get one shot at this, Barnaby. It's not the time for games and riddles.
Well, they both feel a bit, I was going to say, a bit forced.
Yeah, the
They
games.
feel a bit forced.
Why are we holding that out?
We could plan something and make it seem spontaneous. Like you
Let's
can
not do that.
But if we plan something,
It's no longer spontaneous.
it won't be spontaneous. It will just feel inauthentic.
Breathe, Simon. I know overthinking is your thing, bruh. I know anxiety is your best friend, but you need to try and just stay in the moment.
And what about Jaden? Because he almost got shot.
He'll be
I have a
fine.
feeling it would all sort itself out.
You say that about a lot of stuff, don't you?
Yeah, and that's why he's still here.
Here I am.
Quite
on my way to
frankly.
meet Von Kovac
Yeah.
for the role of a lifetime.
Right? I hate to say it, but anxiety only holds you back if you let it. Like, you gotta let a lot of ish go. Did you have to help Trevor with that situation? No. But did you? Yes. Did you get a cool story out of it? Uh-huh.
If it's a shoes off house, there'd be a whole line of shoes. If it's a shoes on house, there'd be none. But
The way
Okay,
this
shoot.
man overthinks is crazy.
Let's not give him any strange energy to pick
Right?
up on.
Like that
Both
maybe
have
we're
a writing
panicking.
on this, Simon.
why would you say that?
Try your box breathing.
Yes, let's box breathe so you don't blow up this man's house. That would leave a bad impression.
Mr. Kovac will meet you in the living room.
Amazing.
Not you code switching immediately.
She
Oh my
wanna
God,
show
I
you.
love her outfit. I love that they had her in an outfit. You can't see her shoes. That's amazing. Just listen though. Shoes make a much different sound than bare feet.
Manuel María José de los Remedios.
Simon Williams.
All right.
Claro.
I studied at Juilliard, mostly done theater.
Great. Good for
I
you.
just wrapped up a Chris Nolan project.
Awesome.
Yeah, one day he was like, "You should be in my movie."
Who is that?
Turns out I'm a natural. Phone hasn't stopped ringing.
Great.
Sounds like a pretty rough journey.
Sounds like a room full of Joe Pantolianos.
I call it my prison of opulence.
Prison?
Yeah, I can see that.
You
Follow
can't.
me.
You have your feet on this man's couch. The way I would immediately clap you and get you out of my house.
This is where I've been living with the project. It's been taking shape in my head.
You know what else should probably take shape is maybe your hair.
Let's serve. We are flying alongside the Wonder Man as he returns home.
Wonder Man can fly? He can go to different planets? All right, Juilliard might be getting it, actually. And Simon is panicking.
On me, on me.
Simon's dying inside. There's nothing worse than someone who's already anxious seeing someone be cringe.
Actually, Trevor and I were kind of.
It's okay, Simon. Let's just roll with it.
Yes, Simon, I think you need to learn to let go a
Simon,
little bit.
man,
Although
Manuel.
maybe right now Trevor's the only person who seems to be able to talk him off a ledge. So don't blow up the man's house, Simon. That's all I ask. Please don't do that.
We only get one shot at this, Barnaby. It's not the time for games or riddles.
Damn it, he is a natural.
He actually isn't bad. It's annoying.
What?
Uh-oh.
Throw it away. We don't need it.
I love it.
It's too difficult to comprehend them. So let's get past them.
He said focus on the art, baby.
I want you to see who you really are.
You do need to do that, Simon. Desperately. Why'd he pause so long on Simon?
Let's not limit ourselves to this room. I want you to think of the whole house as yours.
The whole house?
Ollie, Trevor is your wife.
Okay.
He's in it.
You have an old hunting injury here.
Ow!
Get out of my sight.
You don't mean that. You're just mad about what my sister said?
She has nothing to do with this, and you know that.
I love him.
If you won't leave, I'll leave.
Look at Simon. Follow the scene. I love this. I would actually do this, and I hate acting.
No.
No.
No. Right on your breast?
No.
Ma'am, you hussy. Now kiss.
They're so present.
They are. Learn from this, Simon. I agree. They did good. Juilliard would have, he leaned a little too heavy, but not bad at all.
Simon, you are worried you are losing yourself.
Ooh.
And you squint a lot. You have no eyelashes.
Such a random detail. That's what he's going to fixate on. Sorry. I know the figure was like, okay, what does that mean? How would that actually feel? Would I have to squint, all the way? Am I blinking a lot? This is what he's going to focus on rather than the scene. He's not so good with the improv.
You know what?
I can't do it.
I say who? I say when? I say
Okay, you did a scene from Pretty Woman.
I was about to say, this feels a
Nope.
little too...
What I was looking for.
If I was about to say, if there's something I know about Simon, it's that he doesn't do well with improv because he doesn't like to be present. Anxious people.
Simon, I'm disappointed.
Oh no, you've crushed him. Quick, fix it quickly, Trevor. He's gonna fixate on that now. But yeah, anxious people never stay in the present. That's why they're always anxious. They're in the past or they're in the future.
Oh, you've got to get over last night. It's just getting in your way.
Exactly. And he couldn't have predicted this. Oh. And this is exactly why Simon's also alone. Trev's trying to help him. He gets upset. Walls came up. Get away from me.
By some miracle of scheduling, the opening act was
Chaka-Khan!
calm. Hey?
A role like the Mandarin.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
You knew it was coming up.
How do you shake something like that after living inside it?
Pretty easily. He was high.
I can hardly remember. I was so blitzed out of my skull.
Mm.
I didn't realize you were such a fragile thing.
Pardon,
Not the barbs.
Bobo.
That's British fighting, by the way.
How's everyone feeling?
Terrible.
Okay.
And look at Simon also sitting in the back away from the crowd.
Okay, if you think you can bring a little more of yourself,
Yeah, you, Simon. You have a lot to dig from as well.
feel free to choose whoever you like.
Say your brother. Say brother.
Classmate?
Brother.
Really try to go back there. Remember what it's like in grade school.
Okay, I'm a little scared now. Yeah, I'm with Trev. Like, okay.
We've all been talking about it behind your back.
Hey, Richard.
Your dumbass friend can't help you, Simon. No one can.
He's...
Stop. You're a freak. And you always will be.
Is that real? Please tell me he imagined that shit.
Were you asleep?
We need to talk about your dreams, pal. Maybe you should stay away from people for a while.
Didn't realize he was such a fragile thing.
Hey.
Yeah, don't be a dick. I wonder, because him getting upset in his dreams, could that also set off his powers, I wonder?
It's not too late to turn this around.
Yes, it is.
Oh, Simon.
Too tired.
See, you're giving up before you even started? Okay.
If Von Kovac keeps pushing,
He asked you for one thing.
he wants to see who we really are underneath.
Mm-hmm. Open up.
But I can't show my underneath.
Why?
The real me will get kicked out of here. I'll never be able to act again.
Okay, but you're not your powers, Simon.
The real you isn't your
Thank you.
condition. The real you is the sum of everything you've experienced.
Thank you.
Losing someone you love so much.
Let's dive into that.
That's your life.
Yeah.
That's who you are.
The powers are just a side effect.
Mirror up to nature. That's our job.
Aww.
Our pain, our grief, our joy. The audience, less alone in theirs.
Exactly.
We're all less alone.
Why is this getting to me? Wow. Damn it, Ben Kingsley. Why are you so good? That's why this man has the Oscars and the BAFTAs. Deserved. I think you need to go up with Trevor next time. He'll pull it out of you.
I can't give up on this planet, these people.
What you can or can't accept no longer matters.
Yeah, I love the way that Trevor just slid her
We
into the
work
lines.
together,
Like, you didn't even have to
everything
ask what they're doing right now.
I'm never gonna give up. I don't care about the cost.
Then it's your funeral.
Ooh. And scene. Kovac's like, yeah, damn. Now that is your strength, sir. Improv is just not Simon's thing, and that's okay.
That's it. It's over.
She doesn't get paid to speak.
Okay.
All right. Good day.
Hey!
Oh.
Where are you two going?
Oh, no.
Huh?
She told us to come here. Are you going to kill us now?
Why would you do that?
Well, we weren't quite sure.
It's like, we don't know what's actually going on.
There is no deny.
It's a talented
You're
guy.
Wonder Man.
Wait, really?
I can't imagine anyone else in the role. Trevor, you are my Barnaby.
Purr. Chemistry.
The world is going to fall in love with the two of you.
Already there.
No one will have the balls to make another. We will discuss more.
Kingsley's like, okay. Yeah, see what happens when you just let go a little, Simon? You let go of all the anxiety and the blessings can come in. Yeah, you did that. You did that. Now let's hope the DODC don't come and fuck it up.
Congratulations, Simon.
Congratulations, Trevor.
Congratulations to us all. Someone tells the DODC's in the up. You're moving way too slow. Yeah. You had to know that was going to happen.
You're right about Simon. He is enhanced and incredibly
Enhanced.
dangerous.
And you're willing to testify that in court?
What good will that do you? The word of a convicted terrorist.
Oh, you didn't think about that one, did you?
Do you know that? You need more evidence, and I know how to get it for you.
Hmm.
But I need some time.
I can't be pressured.
Back up, Junior, he said.
Chaka, 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 Khan.
Chaka Khan.
Khan.
Chaka, chaka. That is a great song, by the way. And Chaka Khan is a queen. Love it. It's time for my man, Trevor, to start playing the game here. He's been playing it at disadvantage up until now, but it's like, sir, you are smarter than this DODC fool. And you've been on the planet and dealt with some way shystier people than him. You dealt with Tony Stark. You can handle this little boy. Please. Okay, guys, well, that was episode 6, and I loved it. Listen, like, there hasn't been a miss in this series at all. Not one. Everything has been building up so nicely. And as I spoke about a lot in the last episode, what I love the most about this show is that it's truly a character show. It's a character-driven show. We don't see a lot of that anymore. And I feel like we don't see a lot of that particularly coming out of the States a lot. Like, I'm someone who used to watch a lot of British television when I was growing up, like just because growing up in Canada, we had a lot of TV shows from Britain. And the point is, because in the UK, they don't have the massive budgets that US TV shows and movies do. So they really, most of their stuff, especially stuff that was from like the 80s, the 90s, early 2000s, they were all character driven because they didn't have the big budgets for massive explosions and crazy sets and effects and all this kind of stuff. So it was really heavily reliant on the storyline and the actors to pull off a compelling story to keep you engaged, despite the fact that they were often working with one set a lot of times, or maybe 2 sets, and very limited resources in the way of, like I said, like they didn't have the big car chases and all these other visual stimulating things. You really had to be invested in what the actors and the storyline could bring you. And I personally love that because that's what keeps you more invested. Like, of course, having effects and budget and stuff like that is fun and it's good to look at, but it's like the difference between having a light snack and having a hearty meal, in my opinion, right? One's gonna be much more satisfying, stay with you mentally, emotionally, have you have things to talk about, really make you think, while the other one is kind of like some light passive entertainment that you take in and kind of forget as easily as it came in. So anyway, this is what I feel like this show is, which is a welcome change for not only just TV in general from what we see out of the West, but also for Disney/Marvel, because a lot of Marvel stories, since they started coming through with the MCU, and this is no fault, I don't believe, is that, you know, they were much more kind of action and effect and event driven than they were character driven, right? And I think that that was on purpose, of course, because the sad reality is that when you're doing movies, you don't have the time to develop a character and get into the nuances of things the way that you do with a TV series. That's one. And two, when the MCU was trying to get off the ground back in the early 2000s, late 90s, it was from Marvel, which was on the brink of ruin, and a bunch of characters and stories that were strewn all over the place, and for the most part, the masses didn't know much about. They couldn't, if Feige had jumped in with a bunch of character-driven stories, I don't know that they would have had the impact that they made in having the bigger, flashier, high budget stuff, if that makes sense. Like, it's not to say he couldn't have done it, but I see why those choices of kind of doing more of the big budget event driven movies made more sense than character driven dramas or character driven storylines. But here, this, what do they call it? The spotlight, the Marvel small screen universe, they have more time to delve into these things and possibly multiple seasons. Now, again, I don't know if this show is going to get a season 2. My hopes aren't high just because of a lot of the changes that are happening in the industry. If you know, you know, but I do hope it does. I haven't seen the whole thing yet. We'll have to see when we get to episode 8. Maybe it won't need a second season, but coming back, the character-driven nature of this is possible because we have the time to tell the stories and dive into the nuances of why we will either love or dislike a character, or why we are get invested in their journey and celebrate their wins and mourn their losses. And that to me is exactly what makes movies and TV special. Like, that's why I love the medium of TV and movies and dramas and things like that, because it helps to just not only immerse you in a different world, but when you get to actually fall in love with the character and get to watch their journey happen, it's something very gratifying about that, at least for me. And so with Simon, we've been watching him on this journey since episode 1, this very talented man who is quite literally being held back by his own anxiety, by his own fears, by his own self-doubt, by a lot of other things we still haven't even really seen yet. And having Trevor come into his life, now, of course, it's not because of natural circumstances, sadly, but You know, I'm someone who believes that everything happens for a reason. And even if Trevor's coming into Simon's life was not because it wasn't organic, shall we say, it still was something that Simon absolutely needed. And Trevor by extension, right? Like we didn't really see what Trevor was up to before all this. Like we see he was just coming back from some vacation. Lord knows what he was off to do next. You know, his acting career, like the character Trevor's acting career, was kind of in limbo. And again, we don't know the timelines of when this show falls. Like my guess is, like I said, I think it's post Shang-Chi. So he's been through some stuff, you know, and I feel like the important thing is that, you know, when we saw Trevor in Shang-Chi, he was very disillusioned, right? He was locked up. He'd been there for God knows how long. The whole world thought he was crazy, you know, got out of prison because of a technicality. You get my point. He wasn't in a great place. But one thing about Trevor is that despite the fact that his life was in a crazy place, he's always very much like, I let go of things I can't control and I just kind of take things as they are. And I think seeing Simon with this raw talent, but all these things that are kind of holding him down, and Trevor, who's almost a little too flippant and a little too you could say he almost takes the immense talent that he has for granted at this point. You know, being able to mentor this young man, I think, has reignited a lot of the passion that Trevor had for acting long before it was jaded by the drugs and the failures in the jail and all those other things, if that makes sense. So point is, these two people came together for whatever reasons, right or wrong, but they are very much needed in each other's lives and in ways that they couldn't have possibly anticipated. And so this episode here, where they're going to the callback, and once again, Simon is locked in his head. Simon is trapped, you know, the anxiety is kicking in, because that's not going to go away overnight. Despite the fact that Trevor has done a lot of work with him over the last few days to try to get him to start letting go and, you know, breathe it out. That's not going to get rid of a lifetime of anxiety, right? He's going to always kind of fall back into those patterns. And we see that Trevor's doing his best to be like, listen, we just like, okay, we didn't plan on the callback being today. That's okay. Like, we're going to go. We're going to do it. It's fine. You didn't get enough sleep. Okay, that's crazy. Yeah, that little side quest with Jalen wasn't Jaden, sorry, and all that stuff that happened wasn't planned, but it's okay. It was a cool story though, right? But like, we're good, right? And you see, of course, Simon's like, how are you so chill? Like I feel like you just let so much go. And Trevor's kind of like, yeah, well, I let things go, and look at me. Despite everything, despite the fact that I went to jail for being a terrorist, despite the fact that I've been in jail, been an addict, been in a magical kingdom of creepy people, survived all kinds of crazy stuff, I'm here. I'm here, and I'm about to audition again for one of the biggest films, or what might be one of the biggest films ever. Like, I feel like life's doing pretty good. Right? Trevor is very, very present. And again, I've mentioned this multiple times. That is something that Simon needs. He needs somebody who's very much good at staying in the present, who can keep pulling him back to it when he starts to spiral out of it. So anyway, they get there, and of course, Simon immediately starts to panic. He's back in his overthinking bag. He's already doubting himself. He sees the other people there. And of course, they're just like Joe Pantoliano. They got to talk about their accolades. Oh, I'm Juilliard. Oh, I'm a natural. Oh, I know this. So like, if you're here, clearly you're good, right? You don't need to tell me. Clearly you're good if you got a call back and you're here. Why don't we just focus on what we got to do? But either way, this doesn't help, right? Simon's starting to get deeper and deeper into his head. And then we see that Von Kovac shows up, and, you know, he's seeing the line readings. And he's like, that's not really what I'm looking for. Like, anyone could read lines. I've seen you all do it. You all have the talent, but I want more. Like, I want to feel, right? He's like, I'm looking for the emotion. I'm looking for you to elicit something out of me with these lines, not just read them, because I could get any old, I could take someone off the street to read lines. And so he suggests the improv. And I think that's such a great idea, because improv is just such a great way to let go of yourself. And as I mentioned in the episode, you have to be present for it. You can't have your mind wandering during improv, because you don't know what's coming next. And so it's a great way to really just focus on the moment, let things happen, let your emotions or thoughts flow freely as they would come in that moment, extemporaneously, ideally. And I knew immediately that Simon was going to have a hard time with this. Simon is such an anxious person that staying present for long is very difficult for him. He doesn't want to screw up. He doesn't want to make mistakes, so he can't stay present. Right? Anyone who's so fixated on never making mistakes has a hard time remaining in the present, right? You're too worried about what might possibly happen, or worrying about what you did yesterday that you hated. So I knew he was going to struggle immediately, and especially having no lines, right? That's not something that Simon does. He needs to be prepared. He's scared of what's in his heart. That's the other problem too. He's scared to really say his truth. And we saw that through the dream that he had, where he quite literally murdered someone. quite literally took out somebody who reminded him of some of the ostracism he went through at an early age, right? So I knew immediately that wasn't going to go well for him. And we see that he kind of goes, and sorry, before I get into the best scene of the episode, in my opinion, which was the terrace scene. I think the other reason Simon is so anxious is that, like, we see in the upcoming terrace scene that he believes his powers and his emotions are like inextricably linked, shall we say. And that is true, right? If he gets too upset, if he gets too angry, if he gets too scared, any strong emotions seem to trigger his powers, with the exception maybe of happiness, but we haven't seen him extremely happy yet. They seem to trigger his power, right? And I don't know, obviously we don't know a lot about it. At least the show has not told us a lot about it. I know some of the comic book people know this, but from what I've watched in the MCU world, through the X-Men's and the Professor X's and people who basically, any character that's ever gone through the idea of training for your power, the point is that if Simon could be more embracing of his power in the sense of, okay, this is what I have, I need to learn how to use it and figure out how it triggers, and he could have a safe place to figure that out. That's very important because, as we've seen, his powers are quite destructive. And we've only seen tastes, right? He's only let out probably a fraction, a micro fraction of what he's capable of. But if he could do that in a safe way, he could probably have figured out a way to decouple, to some degree, the full extent of his power and his emotions. But because he's never done that, and my guess is that I still have a theory that at a very young age, not the fire, probably earlier than the fire, his powers exhibited themselves. And it was it was probably like a burst, and it was probably quite powerful, and it scared the bejesus out of that poor kid. And ever since then, he's just terrified of letting himself be. My guess is it was probably in a moment of him just being extemporaneous, because children are present, by the way. Children are not typically anxious unless they're going through something very crazy at home. Kids, we are born into this world in the present, and we typically stay there until we start getting into our teens and other areas where our brains start to develop more and more input starts to come in that we care about. But kids by nature tend to be very present and very spontaneous. And so I feel like that time of Simon's life is what possibly triggered his powers, either for the first time or at least one of the biggest ones he's ever had, and something bad happened, and that traumatized him to the point of feeling like from that point forward, there had to be a wall, there had to be people at a distance, and there had to be whatever I have to do to make sure that I don't step too much to the left or the right or do anything that could potentially cause something like that to happen again. That's what I personally feel like the root of his anxiety started with. And we still don't know how his father died. I don't think there's any correlation, but you never know. That would be actually a really good, that'd be a very understandable possible correlation to his fear over letting his powers kind of manifest themselves through who he really is, if something happened and his father paid the price for it. But digressing, coming back to the terrace scene, we see that he's panicking, right? He's already getting to the point, because we saw that even before the audition, he was like, oh my God, I'm gonna mess up the biggest opportunity in my life. This is like my dream role. I'm gonna lose it. And he's out there on the terrace doing the same thing. I blew it. It's done. It's over. And of course, Trev's got to come in, woo-saw him away, woo-saw him off the ledge and be like, bro, you're doing too much again. He's like, do we need to go through the breathing square exercises? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, the audition's not done. Kovac didn't say leave. He said, I'm not happy right now. I'm not happy with the performance you just gave me. But he's still giving you another chance, because obviously you're here because he knows you got talent. So he's like, you can do this. Only you can, if you're saying it's done, it's because of you, not because of Kovac, right? And so we hear Simon say that he wants more from me. He wants me to be me. He wants me to dig deep and give him who I really am, who I am inside. I can't give that. I can't do that because he's like, what happens, right? He's basically saying, if I do that, people are going to get hurt. I'm going to break things. Things are going to fall apart. And that could be, and what I love about him saying that is that even though it's literal in this case because of his powers, it's also figurative, right? In the sense of, I think he's really scared that if he exposes who he really is and he's not accepted, he will fall apart, right? So anyway, Trev brings him back and says, like I said in the episode, you are not your powers. He calls it a condition, but he's like, that's not who you are. That's something you can do. You are, and then he gave that beautiful speech. He's like, you're your wins, your losses, the highs, the lows, your accomplishments, your failures, the people who love you, the people whose love you lost, the people you lost, the people who disappointed you, the people you disappointed. Like, all of those things encompass who you are today, and they're agnostic of this ability that you have. And that's what you need to tap into when you're reading for these roles, when you're reading for these lines. Because like one thing about humanity is that our emotions are universal. Maybe our experiences are not identical, but we all experience the same range of emotions. So just have to tap into that in order to do what you need to do. And you know, once Simon hears that, I think that's something he really needs to hear, because I don't think he's had a frank conversation with anyone about his abilities. Because I think like his ex-girlfriend, I'm fairly certain, had no idea about his abilities. I'm still 50-50 on whether or not his family has correlated it. Like I said, I think Eric suspects, but maybe doesn't have proof. But either way, I don't think he's had this frank of a conversation of his abilities versus his emotions and who he is with anyone before. So this is probably very healing for Simon on many levels. But anyway, from that point, we see that Simon finally knows where he's got to go, and he's recognized, maybe for the first time, that he can tap into those emotions and those feelings without losing control, as it were. And he can dissociate his power from just existing. So we see from there, he does the next read through. He brings exactly what he did in that audition tape, and he kills it. And we see it. I love that they showed that Von Kovac looks exactly the way that Simon looks when he's watching Trevor read lines, right? Like just enthralled, just sucked in. Everyone, actually, all of them were just captivated. And that's exactly what you want when someone's watching a scene of your movie. So we see that they got the part. My boy finally got his big win, right? It's not the first time he's gotten a job, but this is a huge deal. Even despite the fact that it's a movie and this director, we know this is his dream role. And that's why I really love that they had the line in there with Von Kovac saying, you know, I didn't want to say it in front of everyone else, but you are Wonder Man. Right? That's exactly what Simon needed to hear. And also, with the bigger title of the show, very, very well done. So yeah, just another great episode, you know, seeing Simon get that beautiful moment of validation and knowing that he did that all on his own. And again, Trevor being so instrumental in helping him get there. Absolutely loved everything about that. And then, yeah, we saw at the end of the episode, unfortunately, ignoring the DODC was not good for Trev, but Trev is finally getting back into the driver's seat. Like there's a manipulator in that mind of his, whether he likes it or not. And it's about time he started tapping in this case. And now, like, he's saying, all right, you say that you want him, you can throw me back in jail. But he's like, if I testify in court, no one's going to listen to an ex-con. Plus, I'm an actor. I can really make it seem like I'm a very unreliable source. You know what I'm saying? Trev's like, I can make it real bad for you too. Why don't you let me get more evidence for you? He's like, just give me some more time. I'll collect this evidence so that you have a rock solid case even without me. I really do hope this means that Trevor is thinking of talking to Simon and telling him the truth. I mean, I feel like he's not going to want to do it now because Simon's about to embark on the biggest role ever. But if he doesn't tell him soon, I just would hate the idea of Simon feeling like he was betrayed again. That would be harsh, to say the least, considering how guarded he already is. But I'm going to have some faith in my man Trev for now and see how it works out. That's pretty much it for this episode. I enjoyed it as usual. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. And there's a little bit of a long commentary, but I feel like this was such a good episode. I couldn't help myself. So if you made it to the end, I appreciate you. Please show some love if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.